Good afternoon. We'll wait a minute or so to see if anyone else is joining before we kick off. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we'll just give it maybe one more minute to see if anyone else is joining, and then we'll kick off. Right, I think the numbers seem to have stabilised. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Office of Energy Infrastructure Safety's public meeting to consider adoption of the revised 2023 Electrical Corporation Wildfire Mitigation Maturity Survey. I'm Lucy Morgans, Programme Manager of the Electric Safety Policy Division at Energy Safety, and joining me today is Nathan Poon, Wildfire Safety Analyst in the Electric Safety Policy Division, and Susie Rose, the Supervisor in the Electric Safety Policy Division. So on December 6th, 2022, Energy Safety adopted the 2023 Maturity Survey as part of the 2023 to 2025 Wildfire Mitigation Plan Guideline documents. After adoption of the Maturity Survey, Energy Safety determined it was necessary to remove some of the questions from the Maturity Survey in order to more accurately assess the Electrical Corporation's maturity in wildfire mitigation. We issued proposed substantive revisions to the Maturity Survey on April 23rd, 2023. I'll now turn to Nathan to provide a brief overview of the Maturity Survey and the changes proposed by Energy Safety. Nathan.
Thank you, Lucy. I'll start with just a brief overview of the Maturity Survey. The Maturity Survey effectuates the Wildfire Mitigation Maturity Model, which was also adopted as part of that 2023 to 2025 WMP or Wildfire Mitigation Plan Guidelines package. The survey is a questionnaire developed by Energy Safety and is self-scored by the electrical corporations. The Maturity Model and Survey are tools used to help evaluate the electrical corporation's WMPs. Approval or denial of a WMP is the result of the totality of Energy Safety's evaluation, and the Maturity Survey is one part of that evaluation. Maturity is measured on a scale from 0 to 4. There are 7 maturity categories that more or less align with the major sections of the WMP. And each category consists of 4 to 6 capabilities, totaling 37 maturity capabilities in the survey. As Lucy mentioned, the 2023 Maturity Survey was adopted at the end of 2022, and after adoption, we determined it was necessary to remove some questions from the survey. I won't read through every single question that we propose to remove, but I'll go through the general groupings of those questions. Firstly, there were 8 questions that were determined to be misaligned with mitigation goals. For example, there are 3 questions that ask about vegetation inspection timeframes for the entire grid. These last 3 shown on the screen here. There are also 4 questions related to timing of build relief programs, which are these second 4 up on the screen. Next, there are a group of questions that ask about actions that are outside the electrical corporate influence. I want to acknowledge that there are a number of questions that are not proposed for removal that ask about actions where the electrical corporation may not be the sole or primary entity responsible for the action, but those actions are still within the utility's sphere of influence and are important to the WMP evaluation. The questions proposed for removal were determined to be squarely outside the utility limits or ask about actions that may conflict with the responsibility of other entities. For example, there was a question proposed for ask about the electrical corporation providing the location and extent of wildfire perimeter, which is the responsibility of CAL FIRE or the suppression agency. There's also a question about providing high frequency radio alerts, which are outside the utility's responsibility. The last group of questions proposed for removal are the result of public comments that were received on the proposed changes. This group of questions ask about maturity from a different capability and unduly weight some capabilities over others. And these are the 5 up on the slide. The first 2 are very similar questions. The last 3 are very similar questions asking about capability 8. I'll now open the meeting to public comment. Please raise your hand on Zoom or press #2 to raise your hand, and participants will be unmuted in the order of hands raised. And I don't see any hands raised. Rain, can you confirm that there are no hands raised or phone call-ins that have their in the queue?
Yes, at present there are no hands raised or no call-in comments.
I'll give it a couple more seconds in case anyone needs to figure out how to get their hand raised. Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll close the public comment and turn the meeting back to Lucy for the portion of the meeting where we consider adoption of the revised 2023 Electrical Corporation Wildfire Mitigation Maturity Survey.
Thanks very much, Nathan. So Energy Safety Deputy Director has delegated the authority to me to adopt the revised maturity survey. So to recap, Energy Safety first published the draft 2023 maturity survey for public review and comment on September the 19th, 2022, as part of the package of the 2023 to 2025 Wildfire Mitigation Plan Guidelines documents. Energy Safety considered comments and adopted the 2023 maturity survey at the December 6th, 2022 adoption meeting. On March 3rd, 2023, Energy Safety issued proposed substantive revisions to the 2023 maturity model for public review and comment. Written comments were received through April 3rd, 2023. Energy Safety issued a proposed final on April 19th, 2023, with additional revisions made in response to written comments. Finally, Energy Safety issued a notice of this public meeting on April 7th, 2023, providing at least 10 days notice for this adoption meeting. Energy Safety has considered all written comments and its proposed revisions to the 2023 maturity survey. The final revised 2023 Electrical Corporation Wildfire Mitigation Maturity Survey is hereby adopted. A clean version of the revised 2023 maturity survey will be filed to the 2023 to 2025 Wildfire Mitigation Plans docket, with service to the associated service list by this Wednesday, April the 26th. The electrical corporations do not need to resubmit their maturity survey responses to Energy Safety. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank you for your participation in today's public meeting. The meeting is now adjourned.